Yeah. Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, PeaceMaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. PeaceMaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. PeaceMaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. PeaceMaker's mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as the Wheel to Wheel Racing League gets ready to rumble here this evening from the beautiful Worldwide Technology Raceway as they get ready to duke it out here. 120 laps on the docket here for these competitors. They will be looking to try to slide their way into victory lane in what should be another amazing show, another amazing race here today. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a tight race, a fun race, and a lot of fun to see who can try to put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. As each and every single one of these drivers going to be duking it out here. They're going to be up on top of the wheel trying to do everything they can to try to put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. So make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to duke it out here in this one. And it's Xavier Regal Bagel, the GOAT. Who the is that, bro? Who the is that? I'm just kidding. As Hardy Designs. What's good, Hardy? Hardy says, nah, he sucks. He sucks, does he? Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. And what's good, Mrs. Alessandro? Coming in showing the love, says PeaceMaker, what's up? And yes, we did get the title changed. It was a little messed up there, but we got her fixed up here this evening as Hardy Design says, let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Chad. It's Anna cheering on Matthew Wood here this evening, number 16, out there on the racetrack as we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go to battle here in this one. Each and every driver hoping to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. Let's go, baby. Let's get it, chat. Oh, this is going to be a lot of fun, chat. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to rumble here. We're going to get ready to start rolling down the front straight away here and go to battle for 120 laps of what's going to be absolute chaotic racing action. We're going to see door-to-door, some slide jumps, some movement. Everyone going to be trying to find their way up and into victory lane. It's starting on the pole here for our second playoff race of the season. It is that 16 ride. Mr. Matthew Wood. Wood will start in position number 1 here this evening. To his outside, there is Xavier Regal Burgage. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Probably getting it completely wrong. I do apologize, as Xavier will start there in position number 2. Starting in third, it's Wyatt Mickelson. Who is outside the 42. It's Nick Jensen. Starting in position number 5 in that beautiful AG's Designs HB Racing number 37. That is Evan Stewart. Who is outside in the 32. It's Nick Biddy with the number 81. That is Jaden Browder. Starting there in 7th. Ethan Greek, Dustin Hardy, Jaden Porter are top 10 with Joe David, Ryan Haller back there in 12th with James Jones, Brian Underwood, Blair Saunders, Zach Later, Jordan Hand, Brandon Eddington, Benjamin Romano, Jeff Herrick, Mark Quinn Brewer, Grant Applegate, Jason Bogart, and we do see a bunch of drivers starting down on pit road. Nathan Brookover, Mike Corvu, Zach Perry, Caleb Holloman, and Jason Bogart all starting down pit side here as they come rolling onto the racetrack as we are quickly green flag racing here this evening as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as these drivers getting ready to duke it out here this evening for what should be a very, very fun race. Should be an amazing race here this evening as each and every one of these drivers going to be working their way to the front as lap number 1 going to be led right there by inches from Matthew Wood. So Wood leads the first lap here by a couple inches, and now we see Xavier able to take over that top spot from that 16 machine. So Xavier goes to the point, Matthew Wood back to second. Here comes Nick Biddy early on, up 3 positions into that third spot on the racetrack with Ethan Greek and Dustin Hardy moving forward. Unfortunately, Wyatt Mickelson slides outside the top 5. Now back into that 6th position with Jaden Browder right there in 7th. Nick Jensen and Evan Stewart both sliding back 4 spots on the racetrack. And look at Brian Underwood. Underwood early on already up. Man, that's a lot of spots here for him. Already up 9 positions on the racetrack as he takes over position number 9 from that Atlas Air number 42. Right of Nick Jensen, Jaden Porter there in 11th. Haller back in position number 12 as he's looking to try to work his way forward. A bunch of our playoff drivers trying to have some good runs here this evening, but looking for a little bit of help out there on the racetrack. We do see Zach Glader way back here in the 19th position. We see Applegate right there, but we do see our first caution flag of the day. So our first yellow flag going to be displayed here this evening. I do believe we're going to see, I'm not even sure who that was. Was that Nick Jensen? Who was that? We saw a yellow car having issues here. I'm not 100% sure on who that may have been. It's in front of James Jones here. A couple of drivers, 51 riding potentially. Wyatt Mickelson running into problems here. Let's play this back and see if we can get a look at it. Mickelson was slow right there as there's contact between him and Hardy, but you already see the 3 car here, Ethan Greek. Greek is sideways on the racetrack here, virtually drifting through the corner after contact between him and that 86 of Dustin Hardy. So Hardy gets up the track, gets into the 3 ride. Here comes Mickelson. Mickelsen's going to get into the 86. They kind of all get tied together. Great save there from that 3 machine, able to keep himself rolling, pointed in the right direction right there. Somehow saved that race car, man. I don't know how he saved that, but he did. And even for the 86, able to get straightened out and keep that thing rolling as well. So some absolute craziness down here through corner 3 and 4. Let's take a look here at Hardy as Hardy sends it in there, gets that contact, slides sideways here. Him and Mickelson getting checked up. Luckily enough, able to save it. Take a look at the 77 ride, working his way through the field and then working his way down through the infield right there to cut down the racetrack to keep himself out of this action. He makes a quick left-hand turn and takes that car right down pit lane. This is, or not pit lane, but right down through the grass here, almost into pit lane. As, man, this is, okay, I'll just try to avoid it and get through there, and just misses the infield wall right there. Keeps that thing rolling, keeps that thing out of trouble here late in the race. That was a crazy, crazy run right there for him, man, but some great racing action as Matthew Wood, though, has the race lead. So Wood was able to take it back away from Xavier Regal. Burgage. How do you pronounce his last name? That's gonna be Regal Bagel. Regal Bagel. Blair for being a weapon again. Oh gosh, there's a lot of weapons out there. Is Rodney? What's good, Mr. Stewart? Rodney coming in showing the love. Says let's go, Evan. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Mr. Evan Stewart, cheering him on here this evening as. All these drivers looking for a good run here as Emily Clark says, go Blair, cheering on Blair out there on this speedway as he'll be looking to try to work his way up towards the front of the field. There's a lot of fast cats here, man. There's a lot of drivers that could easily put themselves up and into victory lane here tonight, so it's really anybody's race to try to pick up the dub here today. As Huey says, let's go CHR. Unfortunately there for Mr. Keegan Huey, not out there on the racetrack, I don't believe, as we do see his teammate Zach Later a little deeper in the back here. That 39 ride sits back in the 25th position as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here this evening. Out in front, it's Matthew Wood as Regal Bergie. Is it Regal or Regal? Regal Bergie is how you say it. Okay, that's an interesting one. Sam Hardy says, let's go Dustin Hardy, cheering on the 86 here today as all these drivers getting ready to duke it out, getting ready to go to battle here in this one for what should be a lot of fun. Should be some great racing here in this one, man. We can't wait to see what these drivers are able to do and who's able to put themselves up and into victory lane here in this one, as each and every one of these drivers want to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. I'm trying to... Oh, no. Okay. As here we go. Matthew Wood. Good restart. Great jump there for that number 16 machine. Trying to put himself into victory lane once again. Trying to earn some more points. Even though he's got a pretty sizable points lead here on the season for Matthew Wood. He's just looking to try to accomplish another good race. Another solid performance here. Trying to get some more points into his back pocket as we are going to see the caution flag come back out again. Looks like some issues deeper in the pack. We do see Zach Perry, one of our playoff drivers, turned around here, pointing the wrong direction. I do believe we're going to see Jeff Hurrick in there, and Jason Bogart also having some issues. Zach Later was down off the racetrack trying to avoid it. Let's take a look here, see what happens. As there you go, contact a little bit before that, and everyone kind of just getting checked up right there. Let's take another look at it. I'm not sure if Hurrick gets into the 76 ride. Doesn't look like it, but maybe just a little net code there helping lose the rear end on that 76 as there's contact back behind him between that 49 and the 97 ride as Holloman gets in there, gets into the 49, spins him sideways up into the outside fence. Unfortunately for the 1776 Motorsports cars there of Jason Bogart and Mr. Zach Perry, they both make some contact there, and unfortunately teammates running into each other as we'll get them all ready to rumble here again, as I'm not sure what was going on there, who was, thinking what there at that moment. Unfortunately, though, for the 49 rider, Jeff Hurrick, he ends up getting some pretty sizable contact out of that one. Let's see if we can get another angle out of here. Let's see if we can look at Jeff Hurrick's perspective here. As he had a little bit of a rough race last week and maybe blinking a little bit, but he's there solidly for a while, and it looks like Haldeman just kind of misses the corner there in that beautiful 1776 Motorsports ride, and unfortunately he kind of caused this as he runs into his teammate there, Jason Bogart, and then runs into the 49 ride, which in turn maybe net codes the rear end loose on the 76 of Zach Perry, and for that Bill's Barbecue ride, hard contact up and into the outside fence there for him. Tough break for that 49 machine, as you will see another caution flag here early in this race, so we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, as we did see Marquin Brewer somehow or another ended up with a black flag. He's in the 38 ride here this evening. This is an interesting turn of events. Is that not usually the car we see for for Keegan Huey? Free Keegan. Clater has kidnapped him. Oh gosh! Oh gosh! Chat, someone call 911. Someone report this to the FBI. Poor Keegan. Poor Keegan. He's been kidnapped. He's been kidnapped, chat. We can't have that. All right, here we go. Getting ready to go back to battle. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go here. And Steven Stokes with that heart reaction. Michael Herms coming in with that heart as well as Evan Monaghan. Evan coming in with that like on the stream over there on Facebook. As each and every one of these drivers getting ready to duke it out, getting ready to go back. Is okay, Regal Bergie. It's gonna be crazy all night long. I'm just gonna call him Xavier. I think I'm gonna skip the last name part there. Maybe if I say anything, it'll be Regal or Xavier R. One or the other. We'll figure that one out. As Anna says, sure, Holler, where are you? I don't know where she's at. As Huey says, I got a brewer subbing for me tonight. Took a trip to Virginia, up to Virginia. Okay, all right, let's go. That's what's up right there. That's gonna be fun. As Heart Design says, who? He says, is it who or woo? Are you whooing? I don't know. As here we go, getting ready to stack them up, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Matthew Wood choosing the outside lane here. The control car for the restart. Xavier down to his inside in that target number 5 ride, ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out once again here this evening as each and every one of these drivers try to put themselves up and into victory lane. But we got to see if we can get some good Green Flag laps in here as we've only completed 10 laps. We've had 2 cautions and a bunch of tore up race cars here this evening as the Green Flag back out into the air for Matthew Wood. Matthew sees that Green Flag fly, gets a great launch, a great jump, able to clear that 5 ride as Xavier slides back into position number 2. Is door back there for 3rd as Nick Biddy trying to hold off that 3 machine at Ethan Greek. We'll have to slide back into 4th here as now here comes that 37, the AG's Designs. HB Racing rider Evan Stewart down low looking to make that move around that 3 machine, trying to move Stewart up inside the top 4 here this evening is Ethan Greek right there in that 5th position now, but here comes Dustin Hardy with a big run down to the inside. Unfortunately now for that 3E machine, he may be sliding backwards here, might get freight trained if he's not careful. Now here comes that 77 of Brian Underwood. Underwood has been running strong here to start this race, has been moving his way up and through the field here this evening is Underwood. Right there in that 77 ride, trying to make that move around Jaden Browder. Browder trying to hold on to that 7th position, but man, oh man, it wants to be Lucky Sevens again here tonight as that 77 wants to take over position number 7 here today as James Jones back there in that 10th position trying to get that car rolling. Ryan Haller up inside the top 10 now in that 23 ride, looking strong, but Evan Stewart running into issues. Stewart runs into a problem. No caution flag on the racetrack. Let's play this back. Let's throw it into reverse, Terry, and let's take a look and see what happens. As we're going to probably see this a lot throughout the day. Just looks like getting back onto the throttle. The 37 loses the rear end. Has to lock it down. Trying to get this car stopped without going around right there. Luckily enough, able to save it. Doesn't go down through the infield grass, but he does lose a ton of track position. Goes virtually from the top 5 to outside the top 20 as he rolls now in that 25th position. And Evan Stewart's really going to have to try to move up and try to slide his way around a lot of traffic to regain all that track position that he just lost. As Matthew Wood has the race lead still out in front. Xavier right there in 7th. Nick Biddy having a great run in position number 3. As Jesse Biddy says, that's my baby daddy. Oh gosh, Nick Biddy being a baby daddy. That's a scary sight. No, I'm just kidding. Congratulations as Nick Biddy having a kid, man. That's hey, that's cool, man. That's cool having kids. Good. It's a good thing. As Nick Biddy out there in that 32 ride trying to hunt down our race leaders. As Anna Alessandro says, come on, Matthew cheering on Mr. Wood here this evening. So far, it seems like it's going to be a tight race here. Matthew Wood, Xavier, Nick Biddy, our top 3 here have been up inside the top 3 pretty much all night long. Who do you guys think gets it done? You guys think that Matthew Wood captures another win here on the season? I don't even know how many he's had this year, but it's got to be closer to the double digits than it is a single digit, as I do believe he's got about 7 or 8 wins already on the season. And I know for all of these drivers, they do not want to see him get another one. They don't want to see him pick up another win here in the season, as I do believe, 8 wins on the season. That is absolutely crazy. In chat, that's going to be tough for all these drivers to try to find their way up towards the front of the field, as they're going to be just trying to survive, trying to keep themselves out of trouble, and obviously making those moves to get to the front. And for our points players, all of our drivers in the playoffs here are going to be just trying to survive this race. We do see Jordan Hand going to run. Hand runs into a problem here. Is Mrs. Holler in the chat? What's good, Mrs. Holler says, come on, 23. Ryan Holler, make it a great race. Love me some PeaceMaker. We love me some Mrs. Holler coming in showing the love. As Anna says, hey, sure, hey, they're they love talking to each other in the chat. We love to see them both in the chat having those conversations. So let's take a look here at the Be the One number 1 of Jordan Hand. Looks like Hand's going to run into some problem. We'll see if he had a hand at it as down through corner number 3 and out at corner number 4. Looks like the 98 right of Blair Saunders runs into a problem. And all of a sudden, Joe David, oh, we're going to see a few more drivers get collected, including Evan Stewart, including Jason Bogart. Oh, man, this is just the thing with this racetrack, the Worldwide Technology Raceway, man. It's just kind of closed in, especially on these straightaways. And we've seen it time and time again when things like this happen. You just see drivers all of a sudden nowhere to go out there on the racetrack. And for the 6th ride, just trying to avoid the 98 as Blair Saunders gets loose, gets a little sideways on the racetrack. 6, the 1, both trying to get out of the way. Look at the 6th ride right here, Joe David. He's going to end up running into the back end of the 98 ride. Just launches him up the racetrack into the outside fence. The 1 of Jordan Hand doesn't really know where to go. Unfortunately, he ends up driving up and into the 6th ride. And then as he washes down the racetrack, and we see David also comes down the track. David ends up running into Mr. Porter. Jaden Porter nowhere to go. Slammed into right there. We see the 97. He's going to get a bit of the 1 ride, then into the inside fence. Evan Stewart, same case scenario. Slams into the side of Jordan Hand, and here comes Jason Bogart. Can't get checked up quick enough. Ends up running underneath of that number 37 ride, and we get a lot of tore up race cars in there on the speedway. Let's take a look back here. Let's see if we can see the perspective here for Evan Stewart, Joe David. Who do we want to watch here, chat? Let's take a look at Evan Stewart. Evan's coming into this quite a bit later after losing that track position, having that problem. This is happening virtually a corner in front of him here. There's Blair Saunders just going around the far left. There's Joe David up and into the fence. And then all of a sudden, here we go. He's rolling. Has to get checked up. Cannot get checked up quick enough. And there's the hit from behind. Let's take another look here at the number. We're trying to find someone here, chat. Where's Jaden Porter? There's Jaden Porter. Okay, so Porter gets a great look at this. He sees what's happening. He sees the contact. So there's Blair Saunders getting loose. The 6 and the 1 up into the fence. He tries to cut down the racetrack to avoid it. Unfortunately, Joe David busted right front, busted left front. Can't really turn that car. Washes down the racetrack and right into Mr. Porter. And that gets some pretty heavy contact on both sides of that race car as well. There's a lot of chaos and mayhem early on in this race. We're not even 20 laps in, and we've already tore up a ton of race cars here this evening, as Jimmy 6 Times says on this week's version of the Yellow to Yellow Racing Club. Jimmy 6 Times showing the love here in this one. How are you, brother? How you doing this evening? As this is gonna be a lot of fun. This is definitely some great racing, some great fun here this evening. As Sim Racing Rim says, stop wrecking my cars, man. Stop wrecking them. Oh gosh, unfortunately, I don't think we're done wrecking cars here this evening. I think we still got a lot of cars to destroy here today, as we'll get them. Oh, man, they're going to get tore up here quite a bit this evening, man. It's going to be tough all evening long. I think this track is just going to produce quite a bit of carnage, and I know for our ranks leader and everyone here at the front of the field, they just want to see it stay clean and green. They want to be able to get some good laps in and try to hunt down the checkered flag here this evening, as, oh, man, this is going to be fun. Here we go. Matthew Wood, Xavier, door to door, down through the Geico restart zone, and the green flag flies once again, and another great restart there for Wood. Matthew Wood gets another great launch and another perfect start there for that 16 machine, able to jump down, clear that Xavier ride, as that 5 machine, the target ride, trying to hold on now to second here, as Ethan Greek, this is probably one of Greek's best races we've seen out of this 3E machine. He has looked very, very strong so far in this race. Even with that contact earlier, he was able to save that car, get it pointed back in the right direction, didn't end up with any other contact or damage, and that's what kept him up here at the front. But now we bounce it off the fence. We may have spoke too soon. We may have jinxed the 3E machine, as there was a pretty heavy hit there into the wall, and could have caused quite a bit of right front damage there for that 3E machine. Now washes up the racetrack. Here comes Nick Biddy, looking to try to get back around him, as Biddy trying to slide back up into third. Dustin Hardy, Brian Underwood continue their hunt up to the front here. Hardy up 5 spots. Brian Underwood up 12 positions since the drop of the green flag, and he is there inside the top 6 right now, as here comes Ryan Haller. Here comes Jaden Browder, as Browder working to the inside here of Ryan Haller, and now here comes that 57, Grant Applegate. Applegate won a fairly controversial race, let's say, last night. A bit of a wild one, a really good bump and run there at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now, I don't know if that's really the racetrack you want to do a bump and run, but nonetheless, it's fair game. Gave a little shot to the 88 run to Dylan Carrier. Got Carrier up the racetrack, and then his Carrier trying to save it, went around off the nose of the 57, and Grant was able to hang on to it, keep that car rolling, didn't lose too much speed or more momentum, and hung on to the race lead, picked up the win yesterday in our Premium Stock Car Racing League there at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So just coming off a big win there in Indy, and now working his way up and through the field. He's picked up, oh, look out, contact! Oh, they're wrecking here in front of Applegate. They're wrecking here at the front of the pack. Is Dustin Hardy collecting in it? Hardy Designs, HB Racing 86 Ryan gets some pretty solid contact into it. You'll see the 81 Ryan, Jaden Browder turned around right there, and I do believe it started with Nick Biddy and Ethan Greek. Heavy right front damage here for that Nick Biddy Designs ride. Let's take a look back at it and see what brings out our fourth caution flag here this evening. Is the yellow flag coming back out, and it's just hard racing these two for multiple laps, door to door. This is for that third position. Biddy trying to take it back away from the 3 ride, and down and out of corner number 2. They're just tight together, and it looks like Ethan maybe gets a little bit loose. Just tight together and can't really get the run that he was looking for here on corner exit. And unfortunately, you're going to see this 3 ride maybe with a little bit of contact, maybe helping him get a little loose right there. As here we go, you see that rear end kind of kick out right there, launches down into the 32, and that just shoots the 32 up the track across the nose of that 3 machine. They get nosed up into the outside fence. The 86 ride just nowhere to go, can't cut down the racetrack quick enough, ends up getting into the rear end of the 32 ride, which shoots him up into the almost into the outside fence right here. Luckily enough, he doesn't get too much damage into it, but then we saw the 81 of Browder. Browder also gets turned here. This is after they get around everything else, and I do believe potentially him and Haller end up making contact. Haller making an aggressive move to avoid the spun-out race cars right there, and I'm not sure if he actually makes contact with them or if it's just a little neck code with Haller moving up the track. Looks like he's getting the car straightened out right there. I don't know if he would have hit the 81 or not. Nonetheless, iRacing Net Code does make the contact for him, and that does spin the 81 right around. You see the 42 cutting in there as well as Nick Jensen trying to slide in there. Unfortunately, gets a little piece of the back end of the 23 ride, but nonetheless, another big caution flag. A few more destroyed race cars out there on the racetrack, and now that's going to set up different pit cycles here. We saw drivers down pit road there on lap number 8. We saw some down pit road on lap number 17. Now we're going to see a few more make their way down pit side here on lap number I don't even know what this is, lap 25 now. I guess we're on 24, 25. So a bunch of different pit strategies for these drivers. We did see Wyatt Mickelson come down pit road on lap 18. We saw Jordan Hand, Evan Stewart down pit side, getting repairs, getting their cars fixed up. Now we see Holloman, Jason Bogart. See Brandon Eddington also down pit road. Nathan Brookover down and out of pit lane. Unfortunately for Joe David. David is at least, I do believe, a lap down as of right now. I do believe he's the first car 1 lap down. I do believe that is right. I do believe he is the first car 1 lap down. Mike Corriveau also left there on the racetrack. I do believe Corriveau also a lap down here this evening as well. So tough break there for them. And I do believe Nathan Brookover again losing connection to this race, and he has disappeared off the screen. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out for Brookover. All right, let's get it. Let's get back to battle here in this one. As man, this is gonna be interesting here in this one. As Brian Alessandro says, no, not Nick Biddy, not Nick Biddy. He says, unfortunately for Nick Biddy, contact going around for the 3 ride. Doesn't look like too much damage for Ethan Greek, and he keeps on battling. Same with Dustin Hardy. This is a pretty surprising one with Hardy still up here battling inside the top 3, top 4 here. You can imagine that the 3, the 86, some pretty solid contact there. There's definitely quite a bit of damage to the front right end of that 86 ride after a pretty good contact into the back end of that 32 ride. So we'll have to wait and see how that's going to handle his car here, how he's going to be able to try to keep this thing out of trouble and keep it rolling out there on the speedway, as we're going to get ready to See the green flag come back out. Here we go. Green flag back out into the air. Stage break at lap number 30. So it should be about a 3-lap shootout before stage number 1 comes to a close here this evening. And so far, 3 Ryan's able to hang on to it. 86 Ryan able to get that car, but he can't really turn it there. That's what the problem's probably going to be for him here in this last few laps, is going to be trying to get this car to turn. And with that damage, it's going to hurt his exit here quite a bit. But it's Matthew Wood, nice and easy, out in front. Xavier Regal Bergie, they're out in front. Regal Bergie continues to lead this second spot here, continues to have himself in position number 2. He's been showing very, very good strength throughout this race, hanging right there with that 16 run of Matthew Wood. But now we do see Grant Applegate up and into position number 3 here on the speedway. Greek still holding on to 4th, but here comes Brian Underwood now inside the top 5. Nick Jensen making a charge here late in this first stage as he jumps up into position number 6. Here comes that 38 ride. Marquin Brewer having himself a day here as well in the 38 ride. New team, he's the substitute driver there for Keegan Huey, and he's got this 38 up inside the top 7, trying to earn some good stage points here for that 38 team in their battle for the post in the playoffs here, looking for a good points day. And now we do see that 3 ride running into more issues. Ethan Greek slow down the back straightaway. We'll have to wait and see if potentially the front end damage on that 3 ride maybe start to cause a little bit of overheating action here. You see Zach Perry up into 8th. Dunstan Hardy, he continues to slide back here now into the 9th position as here comes Ryan Haller. For Haller, could be a lot of big bonus points here, a lot of playoff points that could be used to help him in his hunt for the championship here this year. So if he can jump up on top of the wheel, maybe find a little bit extra, but it does look like it's going to run out as there we go. Caution flag has been thrown, and stage number 1 has come to a close. So Matthew Wood, Xavier Regal Bergie, they're in position number 2. Applegate there in 3rd. Brian Underwood back in 4th. Nick Jensen, Marquin Brewer into 6th with Ethan Greek back in 7th. Zach Perry, Dustin Hardy, and Ryan Haller round out our top 10. They're in stage number 1. Obviously, a lot of stage points there going to Matthew Wood, Applegate right there for our playoffs here this season. And for those drivers, that's going to be a great break for them. Obviously, some good points that they are definitely looking to try to take advantage of, trying to earn those extra points here on the evening. And we'll have to wait and see here. Let's see if we can get the points up here onto the screen right now. Alrighty, there is a look at our Season 1 playoffs here this year. So out in front, obviously winning that stage and first in our point standings after one race in our playoffs already. It's Matthew Wood who came into this race with a 35-point lead. Jordan Fisher, which case I think we're missing the Fish here tonight, aren't we? That's one driver that I haven't seen out there on the racetrack. So Jordan Fisher not in attendance here this evening. Unfortunately, that's going to give up quite a bit of points there for that 19 ride, but he did win last Sunday's race, so I believe he is locked into the next round anyway. So that's a great break there for Jordan Fisher. Aiden Lucas in 3rd. I don't know if we've seen Aiden Lucas out on the racetrack here today, so that's a big question mark for Aiden Lucas. Yeah, no Aiden Lucas out there on the racetrack either. So a couple of our playoff drivers missing from attendance here this evening. We'll have to keep an eye out on all that craziness, as you did see Keegan Huey. He's got a substitute driver and Marquin Brewer here this evening. Jason Bogart Haller, who's sitting in 10th in points right now, at least earned an extra stage point right there. Zach Clater, Nick Biddy, who ended up with some damage there going around. Mickelson back in the pack. Evan Stewart running into problems. We saw Zach Perry earn stage points, but also got tied up in problems there throughout that first stage. Applegate able to jump up into 3rd. Some good stage points there for Mr. Applegate here this evening, but everyone's still chasing down Matthew Wood, not only in the points, but also here in this race, as Matthew Wood going to get ready to go back to battle, going to get ready for another big restart here, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay. As Matthew Wood, good pit stop, able to come down pit road in first, able to get back out there, as Mrs. Haller says great, or Wyatt Mickelson, number 7 playoffs. Grant or great for Wyatt Mickelson? Yeah, I feel like it's great for Wyatt Mickelson. Mrs. Holler typing a little quick there in the chat. We'll decipher it though. We'll decipher it. We may have to rank up the Rolodex, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll use the brain power here late in the race, late in the day. Words are tough, chat. Am I having a stroke? What is going on? Here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. If you guys didn't see earlier here this evening, man, we had a 4.5-hour broadcast, man. Jimmy Six Times wants to talk about caution flags. Jimmy Six Times, go back and watch that race, brother. 200 laps at Daytona International Speedway. You think it'd be pretty decent, especially here on iRacing. No real-life red flags to make the race that much longer or anything else. But man, oh man, oh man, I tell you what, when you see 17, 18, 19 caution flags at Daytona, it takes forever. And yeah, it ended up being like 4 hours and 20 minutes, 4 hours and 30 minutes. A long race, but it was for such a great cause, and it was a lot of fun. So can't thank everyone who tuned in and watched that one earlier, man. It was a crazy race nonetheless. Here we go, back to green flag racing. Stage number 2 underway as Matthew Wood gets another good launch, another good restart. Xavier trying to hunt him down as here comes Applegate right down to the inside. Applegate now up 18 positions, sort of back in 20th, and has himself up there at the front. Is now look at more contact. Drivers getting tied together in a big one down the back straightaway. All these drivers tied up into it. You see Nick Biddy in there again, and so many other drivers. Heavy hit there for, I believe, James Jones getting tied up in it, and I do believe it starts again with Jeff Hurrick here. Jeff Hurrick, unfortunately, tough race last week. Looks like maybe another tough race here tonight. Obviously playing that pitch strategy here is restarting up inside the top 10. He's rolling about the 5th position right here. I'm not sure if he gets a little help in hand or not, but definitely looks like it, as there's that 42 ride of Nick Jensen. Jensen trying to get to the outside of him here. They're going to just make some contact here. I'm not sure if the 49 washes up and washes the 42 ride too far up there, but it just looks like Jensen, the same as Ethan Greek earlier, gets loose on corner exit, comes down into that 49 ride, which puts him up into the outside fence, and then it's on like Donkey Kong as Haller and Perry make contact. Perry's going to go around off the bumper of the 23, trying to avoid it right there, and then you watch. Oh, man, tough break there for Jones. Tough break for the 17 ride as Jason Bogart. They get into that 49 ride. We see the 32 and Nick Biddy down the racetrack here. He's going to end up making contact with that inside fence. You see the 74 trying to avoid the 76 of Zach Perry. Wyatt Mickelson trying to get checked up right here. Looks like they're going to be able to just squeeze around the 76 ride, but man, there was a lot of chaos down and out of corner number 2 here in this one, and I'm amazed we didn't tear up more race cars. But for Nick Biddy, he's going to feel that one, as obviously getting loose, going around right there, causing this wreck to happen. Let's see if we can look at it here, as there was a lot of cars that all of a sudden ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time out of corner number 2. As here's the loosest out of the 42, the contact between those two, contact between the 23 and the 76. There goes James Jones, the 32, into the inside fence. Jaden Porter getting more contact and damage there, and there's a lot of tore up race cars out there on the speedway early in this race, just after going back to green flag racing here in this one, and we'll go right back under the yellow flag as the 16 rider Matthew Wood has this race lead, as Sim Racing Rim says, come on, let's go. Xavier cheering on that 5 ride. Xavier looking good. I do believe this is the first race we've seen for Xavier. First time we saw him out there on the racetrack, which is kind of quite surprising, actually. Normally we don't see newcomers into a series this late in the year, but they're opening it up. They're allowing him to jump in here and have some fun, enjoy some great racing. So this is going to be a lot of fun to see how this one kind of gets played out, as unfortunately for Jordan Fisher not here this evening, as he's not out there on the racetrack. But man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see who can try to find their way in the victory lane, to see if Xavier can jump up there and maybe beat that 16 ride here today. Maybe we see the same case scenario as we saw last night between the 57 and the 88. Maybe this time it's Applegate getting Matthew Wood, or maybe somebody gets Applegate and gives him one back here this evening. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out, as it's going to be a lot of fun here in this one, as Cars hooked up, ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to green flag racing, ready to be set loose here this evening as Aaron Smith coming in with that like on the stream. How are you, Mr. Smith? Showing the love here in this one as, all right, down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. The pace car will make that hard left-hand turn, back down pit side once again, unleashing this field here this evening. Is down out of 4, rolling slowly, trying to keep up that pace car speed into the Geico restart zone. Now it's all down to the 16 ride and what he wants to do, where he wants to fire, and again he times it perfectly, able to get enough of a launch that he clears the 57. And Applegate gonna try to battle back here in that outside groove, trying to find that lane. Unfortunately, he gets a little bit tight there, washes up towards the fence, has to roll out of that throttle. Now here comes Underwood, here comes Xavier, not the restart that he was hoping for back there in third. Is now battling door to door here with Underwood for that third position, and Ryan Haller slowly but surely has worked his way up inside the top 5. Great run here for Haller, and look at the 37. Where in the world did Evan Stewart come from? Stewart not too long ago had some issues up inside the top 5, almost went around, saved it, fell all the way outside the top 25, was able to battle back here though, now inside the top 10, trying to get back into the top 5 as he's got Zach Later right there behind him, Benjamin Romano there in 8th, Wyatt Mickelson up into the 9th position here as Dustin Hardy try to hold on to a top 10 here again in stage number 2 as he's got that one machine of Jordan Hand right down to his inside. Hand looking to try to make the move around him as here comes that 12 machine of Brandon Eddington. Zach Perry there in 13th. Jaden Browner back in 14th. Nick Jensen there in position number 15 as Blair Saunders. The 54 James Jones, and that 32 and Nick Biddy back there behind him as Biddy and Jones get tied together. Around goes Jones, and the caution flag will fly. Caution flag back out onto the racetrack here as unfortunately Marquin Brewer, the innocent bystander here in this one, as they'll take a look here at the contact between Biddy and Jones. Is down at a corner number 2 right there. There's that contact. Unfortunately gets into Jones. Jones trying to get rolling out of it here as obviously car getting a little bit loose after this contact right there. A little slight contact. Car's getting sideways. Still going over the nose of the 32. Nick Biddy stays on the throttle. Unfortunately, it just turns that 54 right around. Nick Biddy, though, able to stay out of it without too much contact. Unfortunately for the 38 right, though, Marquin Brewer not so lucky as Marquin had a great run there in stage number 1. Was trying to battle his way back up towards the front here, and then bam, right there. Pretty solid contact into that right rear tire of the 54 machine. Pretty sizable front end damage there for the 38 ride, and that will put us back under the caution flag again here in this one. So about to be 42 laps completed, and I don't even know how many caution flags we've seen, but it has been a handful or better here so far, as I do believe that's been about, what, our 6th caution flag? 6th, 7th caution, something like that, somewhere around there. Been way too many yellows, but I think that's just the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. This track, it is tough. It is wild, and it can get pretty crazy like this in a quick hurry, as Anna Alessandro says. Matthew, you're the man. Number 16, cheering on Matthew Wood here this evening. Unfortunately, no Landon Burbage out there on the racetrack to cheer on here this evening. I know Anna and Brian, they're always cheering on Landon, but whenever they get the chance, they like to cheer on Landon's teammate. And now probably good friend here, Mr. Matthew Wood there at the front of the field, and no better driver to cheer on for, to cheer for. Obviously, very fast cat, picking up a lot of wins here on the season. Definitely going to be a crowd favorite, winning a lot of races and being such a strong race car out there on the racetrack. But for Applegate, Xavier, Brian Underwood, Evan Stewart, they're all looking to try to knock him out of that top spot, wanting to keep Matthew Wood out of victory lane. Know that it's the playoffs, but Matthew Wood having such a big points lead and so many bonus points from those wins and stage wins and everything else just keeps on giving him more and more of an advantage. And already here throughout this early portion of this race, earning another stage point and adding another point to his round 2 bonuses here this year. So it's going to be fun to see how this one plays out, as Sure Holler says, go Holler, as there's Holler right there in that 5th position. Mr. Holler having himself a pretty solid day, and for a driver that sits 10th in points, You really want to have a good run. You really want to have a good race here, trying to navigate your way up closer to the front of the field, just trying to earn as many points as possible, trying to get those stage points. Obviously, we saw him get 1 stage point there in stage number 1. I'm sure he'd love to try to stay up to closer to the top 5 here, earn himself a handful of points here late in this second stage, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll here again, as stage number 2 will end at the completion of lap number 60. So the completion of lap 60 will see that yellow flag come back out. We may see another yellow or two before we get there. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we see it stay clean and green here for the next 15 laps. I do believe we're going to get at least another lap under yellow. No, looks like we're going single file for the restarts. All righty, that's what we like to see. Single file restarts. Now on the docket here, trying to get things more underway, a little bit more cool, calm, and collected. We'll see if that works out here. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but nonetheless, single file restart here this evening for Matthew Wood. He loves to see that as he gets to have a big jump over the 57 of Applegate. Quickly opens up a car length or two lead down into corner number 1. Applegate going to try his best to try to find that extra bit of gear and trying to hunt him down out there on the racetrack. His 2 playoff drivers looking strong here this evening at the front of the field, and then you see a couple non-playoff drivers in Xavier and Brian Underwood there in 3rd and 4th. Evan Stewart right now our 3rd highest running playoff driver there in that 5th position, having himself a great rebound day, battling back here after an earlier incident, getting tied up in one of those early wrecks, has that 37 up inside the top 5. Haller, another playoff driver, rolls there in position number 6, and Zach Glader, another playoff competitor, in position number 7. For the 9 rider, Benjamin Romano, non-playoff cat out there on the racetrack, is going to take a look here at all these drivers as you see them rolling out there on the racetrack. Take a look at the banners above the windshield where it shows their name and their car number or their car manufacturer there for Romano. So Romano and that Chevy logo right there, that indicates that they are not a playoff performer. But look at Wyatt Mickelson here, who's trying to make the move around him. Shows his name, but it has that big yellow strip there in the top, I guess, right-hand corner of the windshield here. That it says the Wheel to Wheel Racing League logo in there as well. That's the difference maker. That's what you can see that kind of peers in and shows you the playoff drivers to the non-playoff drivers out there on the racetrack. So that means that for Mickelson, you see that Wheel to Wheel logo right there, one of our playoff drivers here. You'll see that same logo and that same banner on Zach Glader, Ryan Haller, Evan Stewart, and up on our top 2 drivers here, Mr. Matthew Wood and Grant Applegate. They're also with those playoff banners. There's a lot more out there on the racetrack. 12 cats all duking it out here for the postseason. As you see Zach Perry all the way back in 13th. I do believe we're going to see Nick Biddy there in position number 16 on the racetrack. Jason Bogart, I thought, was one of our playoff drivers. Maybe not, as he does not have that sticker in there, but Marquin Brewer running for the 38 ride here this evening of Keegan Huey. Keegan also not out there on the racetrack, but does have this substitute driver as Marquin Brewer does get up almost into the outside fence right there. A little bit of contact potentially for him. Jaden Porter also down and off the speedway here. We're missing a couple more of our playoff drivers here this evening, as no Aiden Lucas, no Jordan Fisher out there on the speedway as of right now. So for those drivers not having any cars out there, as the average real fan says that Xavier guy's pretty good. He definitely is pretty good. He's holding it strong out there on the speedway, showing a lot of good speed out there on the racetrack right now, as Xavier rolling in position number 3 here this evening. Annette coming in and says, let's go Xavier. Cheering on Xavier here today, as Bridget C says, so happy to see Xavier race. Yes, ma'am, you know it. Xavier having himself a solid day out there on the speedway. Cheryl Holler says, love the playoff banners. Yeah, the playoff banners are really, really good to see, but we do see some drivers running into issues. I do believe Blair Saunders, and oh, there we go. Saunders turned around. Caution flag is out as the 98 ride, the Denso machine, running into some issues here, and we do get the yellow flag back out here before the end of stage number 2. Let's take a look back and see what happens here, because I do believe him and Nick Biddy going to run into problems right here. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if there's more contact beforehand. Is there door-to-door? Both drivers battling. Biddy sends it in there deep down low, able to make that pass, but I believe the 98 ride trying to battle back, looking for a big run. Ends up making contact right there with the 32. They both shoot down the racetrack. Heavy hit into the inside fence there for Nick Biddy. Big damage from the 98 as well as he washes back up the racetrack into the outside fence. Gets stopped there on the racing surface, and that's where we see these yellow flag fly here this evening. And that's a big hit there for Nick Biddy. For one of our playoff drivers, definitely not a spot you want to be in. But let's play this back a little farther here and watch this battle between these two. They've been duking it out for a little while right here as Xavier in the 32, or not Xavier, Blair Saunders in the 98 and Nick Biddy in the 32. They've been duking it out here, lap after lap after lap here for the last little bit, and I'm not sure if finally it's just tensions boiling over or drivers just pushing too hard here throughout the middle of this race, but you do see some contact between the 98 and the 42. Biddy shoots down low and tries to make it 3 wide to try to steal that spot. They make contact down the front straightaway. They're door-to-door into the corner here. Nick Biddy not going to give it up, not going to back down, sends it in deep down low. The 98 then kind of comes back. Good run, but unfortunately just takes it right into the back bumper there of Nick Biddy. And for Biddy, and it's a big hit for Biddy. Watch this car. Doesn't really slow down at all. By the time he makes this contact, by the time he starts to shoot down the racetrack, virtually not a whole lot of brakes involved there, and sliding on that grass, it's like ice, and unfortunately skips right through it, and bam, right into the concrete wall. There is no safer barrier down there. That is a concrete wall. It does not move. It does not budge, and unfortunately, all of that momentum, speed, everything just kind of absorbed in by the front end of that 32 right of Nick Biddy. That's a big, big hit there for him. And for one of our playoff drivers, that's a spot you do not want to be, but luckily enough, he did have that quick repair, so he gets to keep on racing here this evening, but cannot have another major problem here this evening, as it could take him potentially out of this race. And for one of our playoff drivers, having an issue like that is going to be tough here in this one, as Anna says, come on, people, let's cheer on these guys. They work hard for this. They definitely do work hard for this, Anna. We love that. As Brian says, tonight, pulling for Wood, of course, but also Nick Biddy or Applegate. Okay, cheered on Applegate or Biddy. Obviously, Applegate doing pretty good so far. Applegate's rolling there in second. Had a really good run driving up through the field here, and now up 18 positions in position number 2. For Nick Biddy, opposite end of that spectrum. Unfortunately, been a tough night here for Nick Biddy. A slew of issues now. A lot of damage done to that 32 ride, and he's going to have to try to really battle back. He'll have to dig deep here in this one. As Brian says, Wood is the GOAT. He's the GOAT, he says. As Sim Racing says, I took Xavier under my wing. Oh, okay. Took him under your wing, taught him everything he knows. I'm sure of it. As the average rail fan says, seems like you got yourself some solid talent in that 5 car. Yeah, definitely some solid talent in that 5 machine here this evening. It says, he better win, or I didn't paint that car for him to lose. Oh gosh. Don't put that kind of pressure on the young lad, okay? Come on now. Don't put that kind of pressure on Xavier. Here we go. Back to green flag racing as Matthew Wood sees that green flag fly quickly. Jumps onto that loud pedal again, getting another good run, another good drive here, trying to open up the door and trying to slide farther in front of Applegate and the rest of this field, trying to put himself into what could be a big winning position here this evening, as these guys, man, are having themselves a wonderful race. A few caution flags. It's been a little bit crazy, but nonetheless, it's been a ton of fun, and these drivers continue to put on an absolutely amazing show for us here in this one, chat. Hopefully you guys are enjoying all the love here this evening. As Rodney Stewart says, Evan putting in work, he says. Putting in work for Evan. Evan is definitely putting in some work here this evening, man. Evan's been working hard here tonight, trying to just survive, trying to keep himself out of trouble, trying to keep himself there towards the front of the field. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already here this evening, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. And right now, jump into the comments section and let us know who you're cheering for and who you want to see up and in victory Victory Lane here in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League second playoff race of the season. As Matthew Wood has the race lead, he has been virtually the reflection of perfection all evening long, besides probably about 4 or 5 laps that we saw Xavier out in front leading this race, as the beautiful number 5 Ryan continues to stay there at the front of the field. The target machine looking a whole lot like Kyle Larson out there on the racetrack, man, looking strong here this evening. Solid run for that 5 Ryan here. First time out there on the racetrack with these drivers and putting together a very, very good run. And if you can come home third behind drivers in likes of Matthew Wood and Grant Applegate, man, that's a W in anyone's book here this evening. As Bridget says, Regal Berge, hopefully I'm saying that right, Regal Berge, all the way. I'm still working on trying to pronounce that name correctly. It's definitely not there for me, but we'll figure it out at some point in time. We may have to even pull them in here, see if he can give us an update and see if he can say that last name for us so we can kind of get the terminology down pat, as we do see the caution flag come back out. And unfortunately, it looks like Dustin Hardy going to run into some issues here. Let's take a look here at the Hardy Designs ride as Dustin trying to get that car rolling, trying to keep it battling here just inside the top 10. I'm not sure if there's a little contact there between him and the 81 or not, but nonetheless, he gets a lot loose right there, trying to save that car, and unfortunately not able to do it. Let's take a look here. It's nice and easy at corner number 2, and just, yeah, gets loose right there. Still loose, wiggle waggle. Unfortunately, can't save it. Gets up into the outside fence, not once but twice there. Stopped on the racetrack. Little contact there with Caleb Holloman, but as he gets stopped there on the speedway, caution flag does fly. So another yellow flag out there on the racetrack, and that could potentially should bring us to the end of stage number 2 here this evening. And this is Matthew Wood. Woohoo, she says, as my sugar bangle gonna win it all. Oh gosh, your sugar bangle. Let's see. Once these drivers hit their pit stop, let's see if we can maybe get Sugar Bangle up here for a little in-race interview. We'll see if he's in the Discord or not, to be able to possibly pull him in. Whereabouts would he be hiding out there? Yeah, I do not know what his name in there would be, so I don't see him in the Discord here, so I can't pull him in if he's not in the Discord or having his name properly spelt in the Discord. I do see there's a couple guys in there that are different names, but I can't quite pull them in. Let's see if we can pull in Dustin Hardy. We saw Dustin run into issues right there, obviously having that problem. Let's see if we can pull him in and see what's going on for that 86 Ryan and what the issue may be for Dustin Hardy here this evening. Hey, Dustin, it's Aaron up here in the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Dustin, man, tough break right there in that one. Take us back through it. What happened is it looked like you got really loose out of corner number 2, trying to save it. Kind of got into a little bit of a, out of control speed wobble right there, and finally car decided to snap around on you.
Yeah, I already had damage because of people not having no patience from earlier in the race, and it just wasn't running right, and come off the corner and got loose, snapped on me, and now we're sitting in the pits for a while.
Yeah, that's a tough break, and obviously have that damage. Now sitting down pit road, going a lap down. Tough break for you there. Obviously already seeing one of your teammates and James Jones having issues as well. What do you guys got to do to try to find, some speed here and try to get some of your other drivers up and into victory lane?
Xavier's out front. I mean, he's second or third, I think, and other than that, I think everybody else is in the back for us. But we relying on Xavier right now.
Exactly. Is Xavier saying Discord?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. I may pull him in later if we get some more yellow flags. But Dustin, man, great run so far. Obviously, some tough damage there for you. Hopefully, we'll see you get back out there on the racetrack, at least run some laps and have some more fun here this afternoon.
Yeah, we're going to try to, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, there you go. You hear it from Dustin right there himself, running into issues, having some problems out there on the racetrack as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. It is Caleb Holloman, Blair Saunders on the front row, Xavier in position number 3, Applegate right there. Matthew Wood, unfortunately, a little bit slower of a pit stop, and unfortunately for Matthew, he is back in position number 5 here. Going to have to look for a big restart, trying to work his way a little closer to the front of the field, but Caleb Holloman, great restart there, and I do see Blair black flags right now. I don't know if race control sees them, if they see them or not, but we do have a black flag on the number 98 of Blair Saunders, and there's a black flag on Xavier Regal Bergie out there on the racetrack. Is Regal Bergie, Xavier there. I'm not sure if these black flags are going to affect them, if it's going to hurt them here tonight. We'll have to wait and see if race control makes a call, if they have to make a pass-through penalty or head down pit road or what the issue may be. But I do know if you roll out there too long, it may potentially take you out. But there we go, contact! Around goes Applegate. Applegate goes around after Blair Saunders gets a piece of him. Caution flag back out on the racetrack. Caution flag is Grant Applegate just trying to have a great run and a good day here this evening, and unfortunately, I do believe Brian Alessandro has jinxed Applegate, has jinxed Nick Biddy here this evening as Applegate gonna get turned around right here. Looked like Blair Saunders just running into some issues out there on the racetrack and just getting loose out of corner number 2. We talked about it when we saw that 37 rider Evan Stewart run into that issue first, and all of a sudden, here he goes, down and out of corner number 2, gets loose, washes down into that 57 ride. Grant Applegate then gets turned himself as Matthew Wood, nowhere to go, gets a piece of that 98 ride's rear end. Gets a little bit of front end damage, not too much damage though for him, and hopefully that doesn't affect his car. But for Applegate, that's a tough break, man, going around having such a good car and such a great race here this evening. And you see the 17 ride of Bogart also getting sideways right there and getting around himself, just trying to avoid these guys. Has to lock it down, spinning sideways there on the racetrack, and you see everyone else trying to squeeze their way through there as Applegate just trying to get this thing pointed back in the right direction. As the caution flag will come back out, we'll get everyone kind of stacked up and racked up here once again as and that says he finally can pronounce my last name. Laugh out loud. Alessandro, have I not been able to get it right this whole time? And I swear I got it right at the get-go for the Alessandros. I'm positive I've been getting it right here this whole time. And Sim Racing Fan says, Xavier is my sugar bagel. Your sugar bagel. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. It's getting way too weird in chat right now, Sim Racing. Come on now. Come on now. It's been getting a little weird. No, I'm just kidding. As let's see if we can get Xavier up and into the chat right now while we sit under the caution flag. We take a look at him as he rolls right now in the second position after that caution flag. A couple of the drivers around him now out of the speedway. Let's see if we can pull him up here into the booth. Hey Xavier, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Xavier, man, so far a very solid run here for you. Your first time out there on the racetrack here at the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. A lot of tough competition around you, man, but you're holding up to the pressure and showing that you got a strong car and a great race here this evening. How you feeling out there on the racetrack?
I'm feeling pretty good. We had a little incident on the restart. I got a black flag for passing under yellow, and they said they're going to take a look at it after the race, so I don't know if I'm going to get penalized or something, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good up front. I wasn't too confident in practice, but then I put it on the front row in quali, and I've been up here ever since, so I think I have a good shot to go win this race.
Absolutely, especially after seeing Applegate and Wood get some damage right there. Now you're sitting here in second. You got Caleb Holloman, who's been having a rough go here this evening. You might be able to make quick moves to get around him here and slide yourself to the point. And once you get that 5 right out in front, is it time for you to just set sail and keep all these guys back there behind you?
Yeah, definitely. I think this run I'm going to be saving a bit more because fuel can't hold up. Got to make sure I preserve these tires until our stop. So, yeah. Hopefully, I'm good at saving here.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to find out. But before we go back to Green Flag Racing, one more question for you, brother. How do you say your last name?
Ruggle Bruggy.
Ruggle Buggy. Okay, I would have never gotten that.
No. It's Ruggle Bruggy.
Ruggle Bruggy. Okay, Ruggle Bruggy.
Yep.
Okay, I would have never guessed that in 1,000 years. But, brother, good luck out there. Have some fun and good luck.
Yes, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Xavier Ruggle Bruggy. I would have never have gotten that. I would have never have gotten that. Even with how you guys told me how to say it, I would not have gotten that. As Ruggle Bruggy getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in position number 2 as Holloman with a great restart. They were that 97 Ryan, able to get the launch that he was looking for, but now for that number 97 Ryan, he was last down pit road on lap 42. He's going to be needing fuel here a lot sooner than everybody else. The tires are going to be a little bit worse, so we'll have to wait and see what Caleb Holloman's able to do to try to keep Xavier Ruggle Bruggy back there at bay. Ruggle Bruggy back there at bay here this evening as Xavier rolls in second. Evan Stewart there in third. A great run and a great rebound here this evening as he's able to work his way back up towards the front of the field as Rodney coming in with a $5 super chat over there on YouTube. Let's go. Rodney coming in showing the big love here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get a hashtag Rodney up in the chat here as Rodney coming in with the $5 super chat here this evening. Much love, brother, as he says he can pronounce my name, laugh out loud. Great job, PeaceMaker. I appreciate that. Listen, I'll probably still get it wrong a few more times here tonight, chat. Don't you worry. I'll probably still mess it up. But you do see Xavier Ruggle Bruggy taking the race lead away from Mr. Caleb Holloman. Holloman trying to come back, though. But Zay up on the high side. The 5 Ryan looking to try to pick up the race lead here this evening. Now, here comes Evan Stewart. Stewart looking to work his way around that Dr. Pepper 1776 Motorsports ride as Caleb Holloman will slide back into that third position. His teammate right there behind him is Xavier Ruggle Bruggy jumps up to the race lead. You see Stewart get up into the outside fence as Holloman there in third. Zach Perry back in position number 4 with Zach Glader rounding out our top 5 here on the racetrack. Wyatt Mickelson there in position number 6, but we do see a driver up into the outside fence, and it's Evan Stewart running into another problem. Stewart slides up into the corner 2 wall, and the caution flag will fly here once again. So the caution flag back out onto the racetrack here this evening as he's running into a couple issues here. That Team Conti Sim Performance ride sideways, just loses that rear end on corner entry all by himself, has to lock it up, slides up into the outside fence. Unfortunately, caution flag will fly. And that will have to get us ready to see another restart here. As Xavier going to have to try to hit another restart. Have to try to see if he can hold these guys off and hope to see more of these drivers that were fast up at the front of the field like Nick Biddy, like Matthew Wood, kind of still getting held up by lap traffic and other traffic here this evening. But quickly we see Nick Biddy back up into 7th. Matthew Wood there in 9th. To take a little farther back, see Grant Applegate up into the 16th position. Do they have enough time to chase down Ruggle Bruggy here this evening as they get ready to duke it out here as Zay, let's get that lead. Let's go. He's got it, baby. As Anna says, Rodney, he tries too hard. He tries hard, but he's been doing good. Is that to me? Is that to me, Anna? Are you saying I've been doing good? Oh my gosh, don't make me blush up here, okay, Anna? Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. Xavier, let's go. Mic drop right there for Xavier. Let's get it, chat. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. As man, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be interesting to see. Do you guys think? Honestly, there's a lot of Xavier fans in the chat. Do you guys think Xavier gets it done? Type in a 1 right now if you guys think Xavier can get the dub here in this one. Do you guys think he gets it done? Or do you guys think potentially Matthew Wood? Do you guys think Matthew Wood's going to get the win here in this one? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe we get him up here. Type in a number 2 in the chat right now if you think Matthew Wood is going to get the dub here in this one, man. I don't know. It's tight. It's tough for me. I can't think of anyone else who may be able to get it here in this one. As Evan Stewart in the chat says, I have a shifter issue. Oh no, Evan. Oh, that's a heartbreaker, brother. As he says, went from 5th to 3rd. Oh man, that you can't have that out there on the racetrack. That definitely will lock up those tires and take you for a ride, especially on corner entry, going from 5th to 3rd. Good gosh, that is going to be tough to try to deal with here this evening, man. That's going to be tough to see if you can try to keep yourself out of trouble. As here we go, we're going to get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here after what has been a pretty wild start to this race. Obviously, we're clicking the laps off here in a quick hurry. We're already about to be done 71 laps of this race. We're over halfway through this event, but we still got a lot of racing left to go. We still got a lot of things that can unfold. Drivers can still run into a slew of issues out there on the speedway. But if you can hit the restarts perfectly, if you can hold your line, if you can keep yourself out of trouble, maybe you can put yourself up and into victory lane here this evening. And that's exactly what Xavier Ruggle Bruggy is looking to do here this evening, as Regal Bruggy trying to put himself up and into the top spot. Ruggle Bruggy. I always want to say Ruggle Buggy, but it's Ruggle Bruggy. Come on, Aaron. Get it right. Get it right. This is a fun night, Anna. This is a fun night. We love these nights. We love these fun nights, man. It's going to be great here all evening long. It's going to be a lot of fun, as Sim Racing Rim says, Cali Boy going to win? Let's go. Also, he's a Cali Boy as well. All right, that's interesting. That's interesting. A little California kid out there on the racetrack as Xavier getting ready for this restart. See if he can try to hold off Zach Clater, Blair Saunders, Wyatt Mickelson, as they're all around him here getting ready for this restart. He elects that outside lane, hoping to get another good launch and hoping to see this stay clean and green, because he quickly starts to see Nick Biddy and Matthew Wood back there behind him, now up and into position number 5 and 7 on the racetrack as they're trying to get it back up there and trying to battle here in this one. There you go. Don't butcher it. Oh, trust me. I'll butcher it. Anthony's painting and decorating. I will definitely butcher it at least a couple more times here tonight. Count my words. It's going to happen, more than likely. Is Xavier has the race lead. A great launch, a great restart, able to open up a gap between himself and Zach Clater. Clater trying to hold on to second here as here comes Blair Saunders. We saw Saunders up here battling not too long ago up towards the front of the field. Ran into issues, had some problems, has gotten tied up in a few incidences out there on the racetrack. Is now, look out, we see the number 9 run of Benjamin Romano bounce it off the corner 4 fence here. And unfortunately, some pretty good right front damage there for the 9 run, as he'll be looking to keep that Uni-First machine pointing in the right direction, as there goes Ethan Greek. Greek battling his way back up towards the front. There's that 23 of Ryan Haller and the 57 of Applegate, both trying to work their way up and through the traffic here. So a lot of drivers that have ran into issues trying to battle back, including that 37 of Evan Stewart. Stewart, somehow or another, has worked his way back up here inside the top 15, rolling there in that 12th position. Man, this is going to be a lot of fun, as man, this is going to be very, very interesting here this evening. As Anna says, come on, PeaceMaker, do I have to send you to speech therapy? Laugh my ass off. Listen, you may have to. You definitely may have to send me to speech therapy. That's for certain. Absolutely. Okay, sometimes, sometimes words are tough, chat. Sometimes words are tough. And when you're saying 20,000 words in a race, it gets very, very tough in a quick hurry. I don't speak this many words in a day-to-day basis with other human beings. This is where I do all my talking, is here in these broadcasts. I can spend 2 weeks without saying a word to anybody in real life. When we're here, when we're putting these broadcasts out, when we're putting on the shows, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is non-stop word salad here on PeaceMaker Gaming. Is out in front, Xavier Regal Buggy. Rungy. I'm just going to continue to murder it. Xavier out in front as that 5 ride pointing in the right direction here this evening. The word salad, it is a full plate here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Clater there in second. Blair Saunders in third. Matthew Wood and Nick Biddy now inside the top 5 once again. So they have battled back. They have worked their way back up through the field. Now sit inside the top 5. Do they have enough to keep on working their way up and through the field here and trying to hunt down Xavier at the front of the pack? Mickelson having a great run here late in the race, now up and into that 6th position, trying to earn some great points here today. And look at who's coming now. That 57 ride of Applegate has just made the move around Marquin Brewer for position number 8. Evan Stewart right there behind him. So Applegate and Evan Stewart on the march to the front here in this one, as we see Wyatt Mickelson. Where did Mickelson just disappear here? He's been blanking out there on the racetrack. Luckily enough, there he is. He has reappeared, but definitely got to be careful with those connection issues. iRacing will remove you out of a race if you do have a bad internet connection, but right now he's holding strong back up there. He sits in that 7th position as we see Matthew Wood able to get around Blair Saunders, so Saunders falls back into position number 4. Nick Biddy right there behind him, trying to hunt him down. I do believe we saw Nick Biddy and Blair Saunders run into issues earlier this evening. They both got tight together, and this could be very interesting. Two drivers that have made contact a couple times out there on the racetrack here this evening. Do we see more of this? Will we see Series 3 of the two of them making contact here in this race? It looks like the 98 is going to move up and out of the way, let the 32 ride go by. Does not want to receive any payback or anything else here, but he does reel him back in. Here we go, back into corner number 1. Nick Biddy and Blair Saunders, even though they've been good competitors out there on the racetrack against each other here tonight, maybe frustrations boiling over. We've seen them both get tied together a couple times out there on the racetrack, but it does look like the 32 will be able to make their way around them and able to slide up and through into position number 4. As now we do see Matthew Wood. He's been able to work his way around the 39 and Zach later. And now this is the battle at the front of the field. As Matthew Wood going to try to chase down Xavier. Can Zay pick up the win? Can he hold off Matthew Wood? Can the California kid get it done here this evening? As he's in that 5 ride. Rolling here at the front of the field. Trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay. Is one of the best in the business. The driver with 8 wins on the season already. The 16 of Matthew Wood back there in tow, trying to hunt him down and reeling him in quickly, as each and every one of these drivers, man, putting together an absolutely amazing show for us here this evening. Some good green flag laps being laid down now, as we're going to jump into a very quick PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on PeaceMaker Gaming. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session out there on the speedway. It's nice and easy down across the line for Xavier Rungle-Brugge. He is able to lead another lap here. Is 95 laps completed and only 25 more laps left to go. Xavier did lose that race lead during the crank it up to the 16 of Matthew Wood. Wood, though, down pit road here this evening, making his final pit stop. Now we'll have to wait and see if Xavier or any of these other drivers will have to navigate their way down pit side as Grant Applegate up and into 11th here. Now Applegate is a lap down, but he was one of the first drivers to make the green flag pit stop here this evening. Applegate down pit road on lap 89, where Matthew Wood down pit side there on lap number 94. Can this give them the edge and the advantage to potentially take over the race lead and move Xavier back to the third position out there on the racetrack? Applegate running strong here. Obviously the fresh tires, you can see the difference as he's catching up to that 5 ride. Should be able to make quick work as now here we go. We see the 5 down into the commitment lane here for pit road at Worldwide Technology Raceway here in beautiful St. Louis as they head down in through corner number 3 and 4. You see the 5 right into pit lane. He's gonna get checked up, and that may be the difference maker. The experience out of the 16 and the 57, making no mistakes down pit road. We'll have to wait and see. And there it is! A black flag for Xavier Rungle-Brugge is an unfortunate break here for the 5 right today. A pit road speeding penalty for Xavier. I do believe he will have to either do a pass-through penalty or potentially be held down pit road here for 30 seconds. Nonetheless, it will more than likely take him out of contention for tonight's win. Unless if we see a couple caution flags and he's able to stay on the lead lap. But there you go. You see him getting this car filled with fuel and you see the 2-tire pit stop. Unfortunately, the whole down pit road for Xavier after that big mistake on pit entry here this evening. That is a tough one here this evening as Sim Racing says, I'm smashing my monitor. He says, who wants my rig for $5? $5, that's a good deal, as Chessie says, darn it is right. That is a heartbreaker for all the Rungle-Brugge fans in the chat here this evening as Xavier down pit road, still on pit lane, and here comes, obviously, here he comes back out onto the racetrack already, though, going a lap down. Grant Applegate and Matthew Wood just going around him there as well, so unfortunately for Rungle-Brugge, he is a lap down here. He's quite a ways back there, and unfortunately will be a lap down. Will need a caution flag or two to try to get himself not only back on the lead lap, but back into contention here this evening. As of right now, it is Ethan Greek with the race lead. Ethan still has to make a green flag pit stop, though. Ethan Greek has to come back down pit road. Same with Caleb Holloman in that 97 ride. Benjamin Romano, Zach Perry, Jason Bogart, our top 5 out there on the racetrack, all more than likely going to have to make another pit stop here this evening. So the battle's on here for what could be the race lead as Grant Applegate and Matthew Wood duking it out. Applegate has 5 lap older tires than the 16 of Mr. Wood, and it looks like Wood able to take advantage of those fresher tires, able to move on and around that number 57 ride, and that will move Matthew Wood into what could be potentially the race lead here with only 20 laps left to go, though, in this race. Does Ethan Greek save enough fuel? Does he have enough time to potentially keep on rolling out there and potentially win this race? Maybe catch a caution flag that could help him out tremendously here this evening. We'll have to wait and see how this is going to work out for him as Sim Racing says, hey man, Nashville 2024 is possible. It is possible. It's not over until it's over. That is for certain. It's not over till that fat lady sings. As yeah, sometimes you just gotta hope for the best position and hope that you can just kind of get locked in here for the rest of this race and get some good breaks here with some caution flags out there on the racetrack. As here we go. Gonna see how this one plays out. Greek still rolling out there on the racetrack, not coming down pit side as of yet. Same with Caleb Holloman, Benjamin Romano, Zach Perry, and Jason Bogart. I'm not sure what their plan is. Maybe they feel they can make it here on fuel and they don't have to make another pit stop out there on the speedway. And as of right now, they have a pretty decent lead for Ethan Greek over Matthew Wood, and Applegate has about 16 seconds between him and our 6th and 7th place driver, the leaders of the drivers who have made this green flag pit stop. But for Jason Bogart, he's only a corner away from potentially being passed by the 16 rider Matthew Wood. Zach Perry not too far in front of him, and the 9 rider Benjamin Romano is just in front of him in that group. So really these three are probably going to quickly be consumed and passed here by Matthew Wood and Grant Applegate, and then the rest of our lead lap drivers and the drivers that have made these pit stops. You'll see Nick Biddy running some great laps. You see that 5 rider Xavier looking like he's still got that speed. He's battling here with that 32 rider Nick Biddy, who is technically probably our 8th place driver, and should probably, if things cycle through the pit stops, should be in position number 3, and for what could have been a great day here for Xavier Rangobrangi, unfortunately, for that number 5 ride. Down a lap here, stuck back in that 18th position. Gonna need a caution flag or a few here to try to get himself back into the battle here today, and that's going to be a tough break for him, man. That's going to be a tough race. Obviously, he went from battling for the race lead and potentially trying to win this race to now just trying to stay alive and come over with a solid run here as he runs right now in about the 18th position. If you could get a caution flag, I do believe we're going to see a few drivers, though, in front of him a lap down. I do believe Marquin Brewer, a lap down. Ryan Haller, a lap down here now as well to Ethan Greek. So right now, it is Ryan Haller in the 14th position. That's in the lucky dog spot out there on the racetrack. If a yellow flag were to fly right now, it would give the lucky dog to Ryan Haller. Best bet for Xavier is that he sees Ethan Greek, Caleb Holloman, Benjamin Romano, Zach Perry, and Jason Bogart all have to make a late race pit stop here this evening and virtually get no caution flag, and just hope that it works him back on the lead lap, and that maybe you get the late race yellow after those 5 come down pit road, and that may be very, very soon, as here comes Greek down pit side. So Ethan Greek makes his green flag pit stop. We'll take a look here. Zach Perry staying out, Caleb Holloman staying out. Here comes Benjamin Romano, though. He will head down pit side. Jason Bogart going to stay out, so at least 2 of the 3 going to commit to coming down pit road here late in this race for the 1776 Motorsports rides of Caleb Holloman, Zach Perry, and Jason Bogart. They are electing to stay out there on the racetrack here for at least another lap or so, as the 97 not going to come down pit road this time. Stays out in front and technically has about a 3-second gap between himself and Matthew Wood here with only about 13 laps left to go. I don't think he's going to be able to hold off Matthew Wood, but potentially could end up with a solid, top 3 run, top 5 run here this evening, as he's still got about 10 seconds between himself and Nick Biddy, as Biddy rolls back there in position number 6. But there you go, you see the 97 Ryan getting a little tight right there. Everyone trying to move around him here. There goes that 86, the 46 right here, trying to get past that 97 Ryan. And as he's running into problems here, trying to keep that car just pointing in the right direction, Matthew Wood closing the gap in a quick hurry. There's that 3 machine, Ethan Greek right there in front of him as well. Greek just getting back into on the racetrack here in front of Matthew Wood. He's a lap down to Caleb Holloman, but for Ethan Greek, he does have the best tires out there on the racetrack after pitting on lap 106. The only thing is he's going to have to find some speed and gear to be able to try to make some passes here late in this race to gain some extra positions and have a good run here on the day. And there you go, you see that 16 run of Matthew Wood right there taking advantage of the fresh tires, moves around that 97 Ryan. Caleb Holloman slides back into position number 2. Matthew Wood back out in front, so Wood with the race lead here in this one, as Sim Racing says, why y'all want to be clean now, bro? Yeah, exactly. They were wrecking a lot early in this race. Late in this race, it seems like they cleaned things up, but sometimes in the closing laps, things can get a little bit chaotic. Things can get a little bit wild in a quick hurry here in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. So we'll have to wait and see how this gets played out and who's going to be potentially the driver that brings out a late race caution flag, as you do see the 38 right up the racetrack. Marquin Brewer racing here this evening for points for the 38 right of Keegan Huey, one of our playoff drivers that could not make it here tonight. Gets a substitute driver out there onto the racetrack into his ride, and Marquin jumps up still in the 15th position, but is now a lap down. Caleb Holloman rolling there in second. Applegate back in position number 3. Nick Biddy up inside the top 4 here this evening with Zach Perry there in that 5th position. And as of right now, we do see Evan Stewart trying to make that move on him. Stewart trying to work his way up and inside the top 5 here late in this race, as Perry still potentially having to make a late race pit stop. Last time down pit road was lap number 70 for not only him, but also his teammate there in the 1776 Motorsports Motorsports ride of Jason Bogart and their other teammate, Caleb Holloman, is the 1776 Motorsports crew. They're looking to try to make things interesting here with different pit strategies, and I thought we were going to see the caution flag right there. That 49 ride has been a little bit of a weapon out there the last couple weeks, and we just saw Jeff Hurrick send it deep into the back bumper of that number 97 ride. I thought for certain we were going to see Caleb Holloman get taken out right there. He almost did, but he was able to catch it, keep that car rolling, and point in the right direction. But I thought that was going to be the caution flag, ladies and gentlemen, but there was no yellow flag, no issues. We keep it clean and green here with only about 8 laps left to go here in this race. Matthew Wood out in front has a 3.2 second lead, almost 3.3 seconds now between himself and Grant Applegate. Applegate with 5-lap older tires is probably not going to be hunting down Matthew Wood here this late in the race. So for Matthew Wood, he's sitting in the catbird seat, has a commanding lead, has a good car. The thing is you don't want to back down. You don't want to start to slow down, as you want to try to get to that white flag as quickly as possible. Trying to get to that white flag, trying to potentially, end this race before you can see a caution flag. If he backs it up, starts to run a little bit slower, that extra 10 seconds, 20 seconds out there on the racetrack, that could be a lap that he may check up and just kind of cruise control out there on the racetrack. That could potentially bring a yellow flag out. So he's just going to keep his foot in the throttle, continue to keep on rolling, and continue to put more and more drivers a lap down, as that's Mike Corvu right in front of him, as there's some issues. The 86 ride slow on the racetrack. Oh, baby, that was almost the caution flag that Xavier and a lot of these drivers needed, but Dustin Hardy somehow or another does not get the yellow flag here. Let's play this one back, see what happens quickly to the Hardy Designs 86 ride. It looks like he's going to get a little help here from the 23, Ryan Haller. Nope, looks like he just loses himself right there. Haller nowhere to go, gets a piece of the back end of him there. Same with the 3 Ryan Greek, but able to catch it, able to keep it rolling there. If he would have went around, pointed the wrong direction, definitely would have saw that yellow flag fly. But we keep it clean and green out there on the speedway, and Matthew Wood continues to lead this race. Now putting the 46 Ryan a lap down, and the 23 Ryan Haller a lap down out there on the racetrack. So Haller falls a lap down, now sits in that 13th position, looking to battle back though to the inside of our race leader. Matthew Wood might have got a little bit nervous right there, as here we go. Wood out in front. Laps are counting down. 5 laps left to go here in this race. Grant Applegate back, still about 3.3 seconds. Nick Biddy about 5 seconds behind Grant Applegate. Now, Biddy rolling here in position number 3. We saw after those pit stops that the 5 ride of Xavier Regal Buggy was able to get up into his back bumper here, and now we do see the 5 ride of Xavier around the 32. So what could have been at least a solid top 3 run for him, even if we would have saw Applegate beat him and Matthew Wood beat him, could have been a top 3 performance here this evening for that 5 ride. Definitely that pit stop going to be a disappointing one for him. He's going to want to practice those for the future, that is for certain, and that is probably some of the inexperience the younger drivers is making these green flag pit stops. And as time goes on, as they continue to get better at those, the more and more likely that they're going to shaping up and sharpen up their game out there on the racetrack. And I'm sure we'll see this 5 ride back up there battling and trying to beat Matthew Wood out there on the racetrack. And I'm sure one of these nights we could see him in victory lane if he can continue on this pace and this great speed that he has shown out there on the racetrack. Just going to minimize those mistakes, as we do see Matthew Wood nice and easy down through corner number 3, out of corner number 4, back down across the line. They will complete lap number 118, and we see 2 more laps left to go here this evening. So 2 more laps left here today at the beautiful Gateway racetrack here this evening, man. Gateway has been very, very fun. It's been very interesting. Obviously, a lot of issues early in the race. A lot of yellow flags, a lot of tore-up race cars, a couple big ones out there on the racetrack. But then the second half of this race, right after we saw that caution flag around lap 67, lap 68, it's kind of gotten really cleaned up here. We've ran virtually the last 50 laps of this race. Clean and green is down and across the line. We will see the white flag fly here for Matthew Wood. So one more time around for Matthew Wood to capture his 9th win on the season. As Wood out in front, a sizable lead, 3.5 seconds between himself and Applegate. So he's on cruise control here at the front of the field, nice and easy down through corner number 3 here today for the final time. The final time into that third corner. Nice and easy down and out of corner number 4 for Matthew Wood. He has been here before, and nice and easy down the front straightaway. No mistakes, and he'll get to celebrate. As here this evening from Gateway, it's Matthew Wood who picks up the checker flag and pulls the 16 ride up and into victory lane here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway here in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri, as Matthew Wood picks up the dub here today. Applegate back there in second. Nick Biddy will come home in third. Evan Stewart in position number 4. Incredible comeback there for Evan Stewart, man. What a run for him. As Wyatt Mickelson, they're in position number 5. Great run there for Mickelson as well. Zach Clayton, one of our playoff drivers, in position number 6. Caleb Holloman able to come home with 7th. Blair Saunders in 8th. Zach Perry in 9th. Nick Jensen rounding out our top 10 as Jason Bogart, Ethan Greek, the final 2 drivers on the lead lap, to come home in 11th and 12th. As unfortunately we did see Xavier Ruggel Bruggy come home in position number 17 here this evening, as Wood out in front, and there's Brian Alessandro says, Wood, Applegate, Biddy, 1, 2, and 3 on the track. I called it. You definitely called it. It looked like it was going to be a little bleak there for a little bit there, Brian. We weren't 100% sure how that was going to work out. We saw a lot of issues there for Applegate, for Biddy, for Wood, but yet they all battled back and come home with a solid run. And same with Evan Stewart, a great battle for Stewart as he's able to jump up and get the top 4 run out of the day here. Heck of a performance for him. As here we go, you get to see Matthew Wood celebrate here on the front straightaway. For all the Xavier fans in the stands, make sure you guys cheer on your driver here this evening. Let's see some congratulations, though, up in the chat for all these drivers, all these performers here this evening, man, putting on an absolutely amazing show for us here this evening. A huge congrats in the chat for Matthew Wood, Applegate, and Biddy on their top 3 performances. Let's see definitely some good congratulations for that 5 ride, man. Xavier, heck of a run, young driver out there, first race here with the series. Maybe a little bit nervous, maybe a little bit of those nerves coming in during that pit stop. Unfortunately, just gets in there a little too hot, trying to push it as much as he can to find as much speed as he possibly has to be able to win this race. And unfortunately, it's a little too much speed down pit side. Got caught with a pit road speeding penalty, had to serve that penalty down pit side with the hold, goes a lap down, and goes from battling for the race lead with Matthew Wood to unfortunately finishing back in 17th, a lap down. As Wood continues to celebrate here out there on the racetrack, another win, another great performance there for that number 16 machine. As Haynes Kev, Mr. Haller says 300 laps of practice to be taken out at the end of the race. Oh no, that's a heartbreaker right there. Heartbreaker for Mr. Haller. Man, that is a tough one, brother. As let's take a look back. Let's see what Haller's talking about here. Was it on the final lap, Haller? Let's take a look here. 23 Ryan rolling in the 15th position. Taken out there at the end. He's got some damage on that car, but I'm not sure if that was beforehand or after. This is the final lap for the number 23. Does the 9 righty who is this? The 9 ride here of Mr. Benjamin Romano. Romano gets around you right there. No contact, but we do see some front end damage as well. You'll have to let us know where that happened, brother. Should have had a top 10 since Hayes Cav. Oh, man, that's a tough break, man. Honestly, yeah, some good damage on that race car and able to keep it alive, able to keep on battling, but falling back into the 15th position. Definitely not a fun day for you, brother, but Matthew Wood continues to celebrate out there on the racetrack. Matthew's pumped up. He's excited, picking up another big win here in this one. Ryan says, never give up. As Anna says, great job, guys. Y'all were awesome. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Antoinette says, great job, X. More to come. More to come, absolutely. As Rodney Stewart says, great job, Evan. Heck of a run right there for Evan. As Anna says, woohoo, that's my boy. That's my boy, Blue. As Chessie says, we get him next time. You get him next time. That's 100% right. This is 100% right. You have the raw pace to beat him, say. Definitely looked like he had the pace. He was definitely pretty locked in here this evening to try to win this race here this evening. Anthony's painting and decorating says, great job, Xavier, mastering your craft. Definitely mastering it out there on the racetrack. As Evan Stewart in the chat says, time for a new wheel, I reckon. A new wheel, he says. Says, but a good recovery, 17th to 4th. Listen, brother, that's an incredible recovery out there on the racetrack. I did not expect to see that right after the two issues, because you ran into two problems out there, getting loose at a core number 2 after jumping up into like the 3rd or 4th position early in this race. Fell back to about 25th. You were able to battle back from that to get back up inside the top 5 before that next issue where we saw you almost get up into the outside fence there and having that shifter issue. But man, you've been on a pace here this evening. That car has been very, very fast all night long. And shout out to Mary Birch as well. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Mary Birch also coming in, hitting that subscribe button, becoming a brand new member of the PeaceMaker family here today. Shout out there to Mary coming in, becoming a part of the family here in this one as we'll get ready to pull in our race winner here and the rest of our top 3 for some post-race interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here to Matthew Wood. Hey Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Hello.
Matthew, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive here tonight as you pick up yet again another victory here this evening, man. Take us back through it and what's going through your mind right now after some close, tight racing there. Obviously, between you and that 5 ride of Xavier, the 57 of Applegate at times, and Nick Biddy, and quite a few caution flags early on. We see you get tied up in a little bit of it. You battle back, though. You chase down that 5 ride. You take the race lead away from them, and it looked like it was going to be between the two of you to duke it out here for the win tonight. You make a perfect pit stop. He unfortunately gets a pit road speeding penalty that takes him out of it and allows you to run away with the checkered flag here in this long green flag run to finish off tonight's festivities.
Yeah, I've always, I didn't know if I'd like this track or not. The first time I ran it was a long time ago, probably about a year and a half ago in the trucks, and I did okay. I was still learning iRacing at that time, but I haven't ran there since. So to come back here and feel as comfortable as I did is definitely very, very promising. I've been down on myself the last few days. I lost another championship and on Friday nights, and hopefully I want this one really bad. So it's unfortunate what happened to Xavier. I mean, he was absolutely flying. He was very, very quick, but I felt like he was quick on the short run, but I was a little bit faster on the long run. And same thing with Grant, but I think me and Grant were pretty much even, and had he not gotten wrecked there, I think me and him would have had a great battle. But we just played the strategy perfect. I prepared myself for everything, and we changed the schedule around a little bit. We pushed the road course of the Roval back a little bit. We're going to get, hopefully, the updated Roval. At least that's what iRacing said. We're going to get the updated Roval, and we'd be doing that like a couple days before the update would come out. So the drivers voted on it, and they said that they wanted it. So I'm just happy with everybody. They did a long green flag run there at the end. We got green flag pit stops in and everything. So hopefully we made it entertaining for you and everybody else.
Oh, brother, it was definitely entertaining out there on the racetrack. A lot of issues, a bunch of big calamities out there, taking out a lot of fast drivers and a lot of cats running into problems throughout this race. And then, obviously, slowly but surely throughout it, we see Xavier, yourself, and Applegate. We see all the different storylines being played out with the young lad up at the front of the field leading this race, and you and Grant running into issues and then trying to race your way back up through there. Same with Evan Stewart and a lot of these other fast cats like Nick Biddy, just trying to navigate your way through some of the traffic and back up here towards the front of the field, man. And that was a hell of a show, hell of a race out there tonight between you guys, and obviously yourself being able to capture the victory. Another big win for you. Obviously more bonus points for the season here, for the playoffs, but also at the same point in time, just extending your points lead here tonight, especially with Jordan Fisher missing tonight's race. Really gives you that extra advantage. Not only Jordan missing the race, but our third place driver also missing this race as well. So kind of a big point swing for you here this evening.
Yeah, I'll definitely make sure where they were, make sure everything's good, but I'm not sure exactly where they were. I know we had a few guys at VIR today, which hopefully they had a lot of fun. But yeah, just I gotta thank everybody that was in chat for me. I know Landon's family was there, so just love y'all. You treat me like family, and you for doing an incredible job as always. I heard, I kept hearing you because I think it was coming through Evan's mic, and I was like, man, I love this. This keeps me going. But yeah, I can't say enough about the admin crew. We have great chemistry together, and Aiden is at a buddy's house, and hopefully he had a wonderful time as well. But I go back to school tomorrow, so oh, that's just lovely. But thank the Lord for what He's done for me, and hopefully this year can stay calm for all the schools out there. And I know it can get rough, and hopefully nothing bad happens for anybody, any school, and I'm praying for everybody that we can just have a safe year this year.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Always praying for a safe year and no issues, and obviously nothing but good fun and learning when it comes to being in school and being, out there, whether it's recesses or going out to lunch or anything else when you're in the high school and stuff like that. We always want to make sure that everyone is happy, safe, and having fun and learning as much as they can in high school, not having to worry about any of that other stuff that happens. And man, another good race for yourself, man, and obviously another good points day for you. And now school coming around the corner. How is that going to affect your iRacing? Obviously, you're not at school at nighttime, but does it take maybe some of the focus away from some of these series and more a little bit onto the school?
I don't think so. Because last year I was pretty good at handling both, but we'll obviously have to see. But I shouldn't be in any extracurriculars, so I should be okay, I think.
Absolutely. Well, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive here tonight at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. They're able to park that 16 right back up and into victory lane. Matthew, congrats on the win here this evening, brother. And hopefully we'll see you back out there on the racetrack next Saturday from Kansas Speedway.
All right, thank you, man.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 16 of Matthew Wood as Wood comes home in the top spot, picking up the win here this evening as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place driver, the number 57 of Grant Applegate. Applegate coming home here in position number 2. Let's get him up here into the booth. Hey, Grant, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Grant, man, another solid run, another solid race here for you tonight, man. As you're able to back up last night's crazy win with a very solid second place run here in this one, even after running into some issues yourself, getting bounced around there a little bit and then coming back up through the field and finishing here in position number 2 behind Matthew Wood.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know what to say, honestly. I didn't qualify, so I was like, this race is going to be hard to do anything with. And I somehow finished third in the first stage. No idea how I drove through the field like that, but I was like, okay, I'm in third. I just have to get control of the race, and I feel like I can do something with that. And sure enough, into the second stage, we all pit. Matthew, I think he went too far forward into his box. So I'll come out of pit road technically first, but then we got 2 guys on like 7-lap old tires staying out. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And yeah, just trying to pass him. I thought I gave enough room. I didn't bump him this time. And I thought gave him enough room, and you get loose off of these turns. So I can't be super mad, but I'm a little frustrated because he's on old tires, on my new tires. Why are you racing me so hard? Like, it's hard enough to wreck yourself pretty much off the turn. And yeah, just somehow got that fixed. I don't know if you've seen me trying to drive around the track with the broken toe link. That was atrocious. Just had to put it on the wall, drive around the track, pit, and fix the damage with the fast repair. Didn't take tires, and that's kind of what costed me. Is I was still on my wrecked tires when we went back green, and Matthew, he never wrecked really. I mean, he got in the wreck, but he didn't like destroy his tires to where you're dragging them along as if you broke a toe link or something like that. So he could drive through the field quicker than I did, and he got up to the lead, and I was in third, 3 seconds behind. So I was like, I got to do something. I threw a Hail Mary, pitted early, drug everybody down with me, thankfully, and Xavier sped, I think, so that also helped out. But yeah, just got to second, stayed in second, got wrecked in second, rebounded to second. So I don't know what else I could have done.
Absolutely, and honestly, there's not much of a better outcome in a race like tonight with all the issues that you ran into and problems there, and then obviously battling through traffic a few times here this evening to come home in second behind a driver like Matthew Wood. Man, it's never a bad day at the racetrack. Even if you didn't have an issue and he still came home in second, I mean, still a very, very good day for yourself, not only as a driver, but also as a playoff driver, being able to come home P2, earning a lot of points here this evening. And I do believe with Fisher and Aiden Lucas not being in attendance here tonight, should leapfrog both of them into position number 2 in the points.
Yeah, see, we're coming back to second again. Boy, second to Matthew in the race, second to him in points, and just I feel like if there wasn't any issues, I wanted to I wanted to win the race because that was the only way I'm going to gain anything. Like if we're being completely honest, Matthew has to wreck at Talladega. I know he's going to win the Roval, so I have to win the other 6 races, and I 6 times 5, so that's 30 of the 60 points I need. And like I said, I need him to wreck at Dega, and I finish top 5, and then we might have a championship battle. But yeah, Matthew's great. I mean, his speed is unbelievable every week. Um, yeah, it's just he's got so much speed that the strategy never really matters. But I'm kind of the exact opposite, where I've got the strategy to every now and then leapfrog his speed. I gotta quit getting wrecked. Got to either from my own doing or putting myself in bad situations. Just got to figure out how to quit doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes easier said than done. Is a lot of times we see you get tied up in issues that are no fault of your own. Just a lot of times the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's racing in real life and here on the simulator, man. That's normally the name of the game. Just being in the right place at the right time to avoid that stuff. And obviously Matthew, for the most part, is able to do that really good. Have the speed and being out in front never hurts to stay in front of any of the action and chaos back there behind you. But for yourself, Grant, here tonight, able to rebound nicely, battle back here for a solid second place run, man. Who would you like to thank for another great performance out there on the racetrack?
Uh, uh, I was gonna say something and it went right out the door. I guess I'll go with the generic. Thanks everybody for putting on the show. We wouldn't be able to race if they didn't give us a place to race. So thank you to Evan, Jaden, and all the admins who give us a chance to have fun every Saturday night or Sunday night. What the hell am I talking about? Anyway, but yeah, so I got another penalty, or not penalty, but another no qualifying next week, and then just I can finally get back to qualifying and start up front and maybe stay out of the chaos. So just looking forward to it's Kansas. So yeah, we'll see what happens there, but yeah, just fun race. And thanks to my teammate Ethan Greek. Again, just it's always nice to have somebody to talk to, so you're not just sitting there in dead silence, just mulling over your own thoughts and everything. So that's always nice to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Teammates make it that much more fun out there on the racetrack, being able to have that camaraderie out there on the racetrack, and obviously being able to bounce ideas and battling with each other and everything else. We saw Ethan with a great start to this race before he ran into some issues and playing some different strategy there late in the race for that 3 machine, as he had a strong run here tonight, man, and he looks to keep on getting faster and faster week after week after week. And you throw in the newcomer here, Xavier, into this race as well. Xavier having a hell of a performance here this evening and battling with yourself and Matthew Wood there for quite a few laps, man. How do you feel about the newcomer into the series here and duking out with you guys here tonight?
He was great. I mean, he didn't overstep. That usually can happen a lot where a lot of, I mean, I'm not going to point out names, but you can look at a lot of the new people who showed up and who don't race anymore. They came in, they were fast, but they constantly were causing issues. So, yeah, to have somebody come in who's fast and doesn't just, well, it's NASCAR Rubbins racing kind of thing from lap 1. If it's the last 10 laps, everybody's for themselves kind of thing. But I mean, we're lap 5, 10. There's some of those other guys. Boy, they just acted like they had to win the race now. So thank you to him for not being that way and being as dumb as it sounds, a competent driver. It's hard to find really fast people who are competent like that.
Absolutely. It was a great run for him. A tough break with that pit road speeding penalty, but it helps you lock in position number 2 here this evening. Grant, congrats on the great run, brother. And hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next Sunday night, and maybe one spot better there in Kansas and up in Victory Lane.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to break out the bump and run on Matthew. I don't know how it's gonna be.
Well, Matthew, he got a first-hand look. He was in the chat. He was watching the race last night, so he knows that you got that in your back pocket. That's a card you can definitely pull out. So you may have to be a little bit nervous tomorrow, next Sunday at Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
I'll do my best.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Grant Applegate as Applegate comes home in position number 2 here this evening as we get ready to pull in our third place driver, that 32 and Nick Biddy. Let's pull Biddy up here into the booth. Hey, Nick, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, got you loud and clear, bud.
Nick, man, another strong run, another great race here for you, brother. After qualifying up, inside the top 10, you're having a solid day, a solid performance, and then all of a sudden, through some of those different pit cycles, you end up, being with some of the other drivers with older tires. You end up getting tied up there a little bit with a couple cats here this evening, getting bounced around a few times out there on the racetrack, and obviously having those issues, having those repairs to do, and having to use quick repairs here this evening to get that car fixed up. All of a sudden, you're back deep in the field a couple times, and you work yourself somehow or another late in this race back up to a solid top 3 performance, man. Take us back through it, and what's going through your mind right now after what was a very up and down day?
Well, I started the race and I just really wanted to good top 10 to kind of get us back into the swing after Darlington. I thought we kind of had a chance there at the end, but some internet issues kind of fixed that up for me. No, I was just trying to get a really good finish. I mean, we've got some of the tracks that are coming up, or some of our better tracks, some of my better tracks. So really just wanted a nice finish here, but got sent to the back and felt like everybody wanted to hit a piece of the 32 car.
Yeah, absolutely. You got bounced around there quite a bit here this evening, and we saw some pretty solid damage there between you and Blair Saunders out there on the racetrack. Then late in this race, we watched you kind of reel back up to him and work yourself around, and we weren't sure if there was going to be retaliation or maybe more bad blood between the two of you, man. Take us back through the contact between you and Blair after you made that tough run down to the inside. Looked like you guys battled hard down through corner 3 and 4, and then down the front straightaway, just rubbing and scrubbing down back into corner number 1. You're able to send it deep down low, make the pass on him, and then down out of corner number 2, he just gets into the back end of you and shoots you down the racetrack into that inside fence.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was going on there. He kind of sent it wide into 3 and 4, and I shot it under him. Thought it left both of those guys enough room, but looking back at the replay, I mean, he obviously had plenty of room to the fence. He cleared the guy on the outside. I'm not sure the number, but yeah, I'm not sure why he just. I watched, like I said, I watched the replay. It looks like he just ran me over. I don't know, maybe if I was. I'm not real sure what was going on there. I don't think he and I had run into each other any of this season, and not real sure what was going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a bit of a head scratcher there. We were wondering what was going on, and of course, you being one of the playoff drivers definitely could have been a game over for you right there, and could have definitely taken you really out of an opportunity to pick up a solid run like you did, but you were able to battle back, keep your head on there, and continue to keep on marching forward as you park that 32 ride back up onto the podium here this evening. Nick, who would you like to thank for such a great run, a great drive after rebounding a couple times here this evening?
Yeah, yeah, man. First off, Caleb Sisk, we had him on the box tonight, and he does a real good job with some of our strategy calls and some spotting, and just kind of keeping me level-headed, especially with stuff like that with the 98. But yeah, he did a real good job for us tonight. Also, big shout out to my team, Joe David and Mike Corvo, and also we can't forget these two. the one, the only, my beautiful smoking hot wife, Jessie Biddy. Thank you for watching. I think she watched tonight. She said she did. And also my youngest daughter, Cora. She was supposed to be watching tonight. So appreciate you guys watching.
Absolutely, brother. As yeah, we definitely had Jesse in the chat cheering you on here this evening, calling you the Nick Biddy, her baby daddy, in the chat. So we got a good laugh out of that one, Nick. As you're able to come out there, put on a great show for friends and family in the chat, and all these other fans as well, cheering you guys on. Man, we had Brian Alessandro in the chat. He was really cheering you, Grant, and Matthew on here tonight, and he ended up calling the top three here this evening. So it was looking a little bleak there for a bit between the issues with you and Grant and Matthew getting some damage there as well. I wasn't sure if maybe Brian ended up, jinxing you guys, but it turned out that it all came back to fruition here for Brian. But man, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here tonight, brother. Hopefully we see you right back up here at the broadcast booth next Sunday, and maybe a couple spots better and up in Victory Lane.
Hey, I'd like that.
Beauty, well, brother, we can't wait to pull you in here first next Sunday, and hopefully enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully we see you right back up here in 7 days from now.
Sounds good. Nice talking to you.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, see ya.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Nick Biddy as Biddy comes home here in position number 3 here this evening, man. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for Nick Biddy and for all these drivers, putting together an absolutely amazing race, absolutely amazing show for us here this evening, man. A little bit of beating and banging early on, a bunch of caution flags there for the first, 60, 70 laps, and then all of a sudden they turned the wick and everyone just decided that they were going to run pretty clean and run a lot of green flag laps there to finish off this race. A set of green flag pit stops, which ended up being the worst case scenario for Xavier Bruggy here this evening. Xavier Bruggy, definitely not the, he definitely wanted a caution flag there before the green flag pit stops. That virtually took him out of contention here this evening, but nonetheless, a great run for him, great run for the rest of these drivers. And listen, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man. We can't thank you guys enough for showing the love here throughout the evening. Everyone with the likes on the stream, the shares, any of the new subscribers over on YouTube, any of the new followers on Facebook and Twitch, man, we can't thank you guys enough for showing the love here this evening. And it's not too late to show the love here today, even if you're rewatching the broadcast and we're no longer live. All you got to do is hit the like button on the stream for us, hit that thumbs up for us, hit that subscribe button, become part of the PeaceMaker family here today, and hit the join button as well. Hit the join button or the subscribe plus button. I'm not sure what it is anymore, but join and become a part of our members group, the exclusive members group here on PeaceMaker Gaming. You get access to a bunch of really cool things, including our private Discord for all of our subscribers. You also get access here to all the cool emotes over there on YouTube, and we wish we could get them on Facebook again, but they've canceled those. And we also have them over on our Twitch live stream as well for everyone that wants to enjoy some amazing exclusives here, being a member or subscriber on our channels here. But listen, thank y'all for watching, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Peace and love, chat. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, PeaceMaker, keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. PeaceMaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. PeaceMaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave, dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah, yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. PeaceMaker's mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.